evening, everyone. Hi, Bejanae. How are you?
Good, Sheka. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing well. I'm probably still singing some Mary J. Blige songs in my head from the concert last night.
Oh, that sounds super fun. Did she do her two-step?
You know, it's not a Mary J. concert if she didn't do the two step.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Gotta love Mary J. Blige.
Definitely. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm Dr. Sheka Houston. Bejanae and I are joining forces on the power of collaboration to help connect educators and parents to great resources that we have found. We have a phenomenal author joining us tonight, and Bejanae is going to tell you about some things that she has to offer that can help educators as well as entrepreneurs and authors. And I'm going to get us fed through to some groups and have some more people join us. And I'll tell you a little bit more about create and educate and the services we offer.
Absolutely. So welcome, 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 everybody. We're so excited to host another author showcase on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So this is your official invitation to jump on one of those platforms and also to visit us you can visit Dr. Sheka Houston and Tammy Taylor at www.createandeducatesolutions. You can also visit me at bkconsultancy.org. And what you'll get there is some goodies, right? You can follow all of us on our handles by scrolling to the very bottom of our website, or you can also click the links in our bio and it will take you there as well. And so what we're going to be doing tonight, as we mentioned, is featuring a phenomenal author. And part of what I will be doing is help to give out some grant writing tips and tricks and how to connect authors to schools. The author will provide a little bit about their journey and provide tips as well. So this is all about tips and tricks for our power of collaborate, because we know we're better together, right? So hopefully we add a few more tools to your toolbox. So I am Bejanae Kareem. I'm an equity advocate, educator, author, and founder of BK International Education Consultancy. And we have a social good mission. Our mission is to help increase student access to innovative education. And we do that by helping build teacher and teacher leaders capacity through innovative learning, STEAM education, as well as grant writing. How can you find those funds to do those innovative and creative things? And so my experience, prior to being a founder, I was a classroom teacher for over 10 years. And so I find myself in the habit of spending out of pocket for materials, for project-based learning and things of that nature. And what I realized is there's funding. There's people out here who support education, want to see children do well. And that's part of my journey into finding funding for education programming. And so that's part of what we do at BK International Education Consultancy. We provide coaching, training, online self-paced courses, toolkits such as this, our number one bestseller on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart, calls 12 Quick Steps to Writing Winning Classroom Grants. It's a grant writing starter guide. And all those resources help anybody, the novice, the beginning grant writer, on how to successfully secure funding, whether you're an educator or an author, to get books into schools, right? We know there's power in literacy and definitely multicultural literacy, which we have a special guest for tonight. So I'm going to pass it back over to Dr. Sheka Houston, the co-founder of Create and Educate, to share more about what they do and how they also support authors in school communities.
Thank you, Bejanae. Again, I'm Dr. Sheka Houston, the co-founder of Create and Educate LLC. We are a literary and consulting firm. We work with educators through professional development and training, and we also work with entrepreneurs and authors, helping them to connect with schools by obtaining contracts and helping you learn how to connect your services and what you have to offer to schools and school budgets and kind of just seeing where you fit in. We have two ways that you are able to do that. We have a newsletter program, and that newsletter is listed on our website. We will provide you with the link to be able to do that. So, anytime my co founder, Tammy Taylor, is on, we co host together the Real Academy on Saturdays, where we answer roadmap questions for parents, educators, and community members who really have great pressing questions that we answer live, just providing that guidance and that roadmap, because we have over 40 years of experience between the two of us in education. And also on the first Tuesdays of each month at 7 p.m., we host the collaborative, where we bring on our educators or parents to talk about how they're using our real framework that we've designed to help schools remain resilient during these times that are, kind of challenging right now. So that's on the first Tuesdays. But every Saturday and Tuesday that we are on, we share that link with our educators and our network that we are associated with in different education groups. We share that newsletter link so that they can become familiar with some resources that they may not have heard of before, especially with in education, things being just a little bit traditional. They may not have seen or heard of resources just from catalogs that are sent to the school. This is helping provide that innovation, that those cultural relevant opportunities. A lot of times that you really have to be intentional about seeking out, and that cultural relevance piece is how one of the strategies Tammy and I use to improve our schools 2 and 3 report card grade levels in 1 year. So the different things that we have listed are resources that we know are helpful to children, to parents, and to educators. So we are excited about the authors and the entrepreneurs and speakers we've been able to connect with, and be able to connect them to schools. So our guest that we have on with us today, one of our guests was unable to join us, but we have Dr. Mary Felton. I'm going to bring her up from backstage.
Welcome.
Well, thank
Hi.
you. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome, Dr. Felton. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So, if you would just tell us a little bit about, you are in education and you have written some books. Just tell us a little bit about your books, and also your inspiration for writing them, and just how they could be helpful.
Okay, definitely. Just a little bit about me, and I often tell my story. I too was a struggling reader, born and raised in poverty, and I struggled. So I understand the experiences that many of our young people experience in school. So during my dissertation, when I was preparing for my doctoral program, I decided that it would be great to develop some material that will help young people who may be struggling. So that was my inspiration. I thought about what would have helped me. I
Mm-hmm.
hit the fourth grade. My grandmother was unable to help me with my homework. She was unable to read or my grandmother could not help me. And I know many parents are unable to help their children because the children are being taught differently than what they were taught. So it's not that they don't desire to help the children, it's just that the methods have changed. So I decided to develop a learning journal,
Mm-hmm.
and the learning journal has 3 guiding questions. Sometimes the children have the desire, but they have difficulties knowing where to start or how to even start. So in my first learning journal, there are 3 guiding questions, and it's a daily task. What is the easiest topic or subject learned today and why? The second question is what was most challenging to learn today and why? And the third question is what strategies were helpful? And that question is really important because sometimes students have favorable strategies, but those strategies may not be effective. And
Mhm.
if they are not demonstrating mastery, regardless of whether or not that strategy is a favorable strategy, they may need to identify the fact that it's ineffective. And I often say there are no good strategies, there are no bad strategies. The strategies are either effective or ineffective. And I also included on each page words to learn because we know that vocabulary is critical.
Mm-hmm.
And if they understand and can identify the vocabulary that is causing some type of difficulties, maybe they're unfamiliar with those particular words, they will have an opportunity to record those words in the journal, and then they can utilize other resources. For example, dictionary.com is a free resource online, and they can utilize that. There's a space to record the definition. And so there are over 90 pages,
Mhm.
and this journal can be utilized. The parents can utilize it to monitor the progress of this child. The teacher can use it to monitor the progress. So it's very beneficial.
Can you show us a little bit more? A sneak. There we go. Yeah, yeah, and the front cover too, so
And
they
so
know what it looks like. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. Perfect.
and
And
then each page, and it also has a couple of quotes, and it has the benefit. Um, it can track academic performance, progress, and strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Monitor thinking, focus on personal experiences as well as reactions to challenging tasks, analyze studying approaches, identify learning strategies, and record academic concerns. So, those are just some of the benefits that this particular journal will enable the learner to do. It also enables the parent or the guardian to understand the child's strengths and weaknesses, or I say challenges. I usually don't use the word weakness, I use the word monitor their progress, identify their study patterns, identify their strategies, monitor their concerns, discuss
mhm.
the areas of concerns with the child teacher, because you can actually take the journal with you to a parent teacher conference. And you can also utilize this to actually request some supplementary resources from the child's teacher to align with what the child has identified that they are having issues and challenges with. And this also encourages communication between the parent and the child. So this
Mhm.
journal is very beneficial, and it has many benefits. And again, it's very simple, and it's actually a framework to help the child understand learning how they learn.
Mhm.
I think that's critical.
It is, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because one of the things that we help our teachers try to understand a lot of times when we are working in schools of promise, where there may be high levels of low social economic status, we have a lot of students who are dependent learners. So they depend a lot on the teacher to, kind of spoon feed them things. And sometimes when teachers don't, that, they say things like, we want to meet the children where they are, and they don't raise the level of rigor, we don't move students from being dependent learners into independent learners. So when with your journal that you talked about, students becoming self-aware of how they learn, the strategies that best meet their needs are crucial, because now they know how to take those strategies and not just use them in one classroom, but they can take them to, of course, if they're at the middle or secondary level, every classroom that they go into, and use those strategies to help them learn their content better. And also, like you said, it's that collaborative piece where parents now can also become involved with their child's learning at home and provide those that help and those extra supports. And it helps the teacher to really hone down on what a student may need help with, and helping the students to learn how to advocate for themselves, because a lot of times teachers may not know what a student needs help with because they don't know how to articulate, this is the part where I've lost, how to go to the next step, or this is where I'm losing, what to do next. So it really helps them with that aspect of it too. So I really love that as a piece that allows them to become self-aware about their learning, and it helps hold them accountable as well. But it also brings everyone together with collaboration, the student, the parent, and the teacher.
And when learners feel safe regarding the experience, I think that it would reduce shame and the sadness associated with schools. And
Mm-hmm.
that was another one of the factors that inspired me to develop the journal, because so many times you have students, when they think about school the next day, sadness and shame is experienced. And I think we have to face the fact that there are opportunities to close the gaps. I think
Mm-hmm.
there is a need to address the issue that we do have a population of students on a daily basis that experience sad shame when we talk about the classroom experience.
That's true, because it's hard to get engaged in things when you feel like you're not good at it. And, who wants to keep going for things that you're not good at? We don't normally gravitates towards things that we aren't good at. So to help build their confidence, that is something that's essential too. And that self-awareness piece will really help them to do that. So I love that fact that your journal does that. And could you hold it up again so people can see it? And where can they purchase the learning journal?
Amazon.com. And
Okay.
what it looks like, and this is the inside. It's very simple. As I said, it provides a framework, and it guides the learner.
Okay.
It's
Well,
very, and when I think about the another benefit, and we talk about the shame and the sadness, safe comes to mind. They can learn how to select appropriate strategy. They can align those strategies with the assignment and then facilitate the learning, and then they evaluate the outcome. So you
mhm.
SAFE, so the safe is a benefit, and we have to address those needs of those students to reduce the sadness and shame associated with schools.
So true. And I have a
Mhm.
question for you. You talked about strategies, literacy strategies. What strategy would you give maybe a budding author or a tip in writing a book?
Well, I think beginning with the end in mind, what is the goal? What is the purpose? For example, with my learning journal, one of the goals was to provide a framework and to help the students with guiding questions, because many times they do not understand how to start. And so, what is the purpose? What is the problem to be solved? That is one of the tips I would have.
Excellent. Perfect. It makes sense. It's
Mhm.
what they call in the education space the backwards design model, right?
Right,
Mhm.
with the end in mind.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
In mind. So, what problem would your book solve? What
Mhm.
what problems would it address?
And what age grade of range would you say your journal provides a framework for?
Well, this journal provides a framework for any learner because
Okay.
particular questions, any learner could utilize these. It's a framework, a daily framework to develop those questions and to help them with those guiding questions, to help them with the thinking skills.
Okay. So parents could use it, adolescents could use it. You think maybe elementary, maybe upper elementary as well?
Yes, absolutely.
That's great to know. That's great to know. Get it here. Amazon is great for all grade levels.
All, all grade levels.
And I would even venture to say adult learners could
Ab-
um, definitely benefit from using it as well.
Absolutely. Because it provides a framework to help them understand,
Mhm.
Mhm.
to identify those areas of strengths and then the areas in need of improvement, and also to identify strategies and to determine whether or not the strategies are effective or ineffective.
Gotcha. I gotcha. And have you ever considered maybe tapping into grants to be able to help get your books into more schools? Because that sounds like a valuable and much needed resource. We know there's been um, the pandemic impact right on kids and learning, and so being able to have a resource, whether it's the teacher, whether it's a homeschool parent, whether it's the student, themselves would be invaluable. I think it just be much needed. And we know literacy is big for any subject, right? You have to read in math, you have to read in social studies, you have to read in science. Have you considered maybe looking into grants to help push your book out?
Yes, I have. And I also, since you mentioned literacy, I do have another book that I author is Signs, Signals, and Structures,
Okay.
Meaning with Connectors. And this is also available on Amazon as well. It's similar to the Learning Journal. It has different questions, but it's still a framework there. And
Mhm.
just quickly identify the main idea of the text. The second one is to explain how the main idea is supported by the key details.
Mhm.
And the third one is identify signal words to highlight the connection between the ideas. Then they have to identify the text structure.
Okay. Got you. I got you.
So this is also helpful with literacy. And in addition to that, because the signal words are identified as well. Sometimes our children know more than what they think they know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They are unfamiliar with some words. For example, they may not know that however and but means the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
So that those words are identified, um, contrast signal words, and so,
Mhm.
but italicized because I'm sure they can identify that one. And then I list other words so that will familiarize them. If they see therefore or however, they know that it's opposition.
I see that great also being a great tool for English language learners as well.
Absolutely. So this is another resource that I developed that I wish would have been around when I was struggling in school in fourth grade, and it would definitely help me. And so you asked about my inspiration. It this would have definitely helped me. Um, Call signal words.
Mhm.
I just have a list of signal words, time signal words, comparison signal words. And so, many times, especially in the elementary schools, they are read articles
Mhm.
and then they have to identify the main idea. They have
Mhm.
details. So this will allow them to record that information as well.
That's great. And I can see that being great for even summer enrichment programs. I know a lot of times there's a summer like read campaign, right? Read how many books that you can read. And that would be a great resource to help them really dig deeper into their understanding of what they're reading.
Right.
And not just work on fluency, but actually help to support that comprehension piece. So if you haven't, it sounds like you tapped into grants already. But from what you've said so far, you could also check into grants, like I said, that maybe support English language learners.
Okay.
It could be adult learners with that great literacy resource that you had. We know literacy is a big thing that a lot of foundations are giving grant funding to, that you could possibly write a grant for and be able to donate or partner with some schools to be able to purchase your books that way. And so that way it covers the shipping costs as well as the print and production costs, because I know that's not cheap. And we know with, and we know with the supply chain, we also have to make sure, the delivery drivers, they're taken care of as well, so you can get the books to where they need to go. And so grants could be a great way to help to do that as well. So those are just a couple ideas that came to the top of my mind when you were reading through all the great components that your book offers and who it could benefit in schools and local communities as well.
Well, I would definitely love to connect with you, because that is a great opportunity to get the materials in the hands of the children so that they can benefit and then experience success. And we would like to see smiles instead of sadness.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And we actually have an upcoming grant writing online course. So I love the fact that you're an educator, because this course is specifically for educators. And we happen to feature a lot of educators on who have turned into authors, which is magnificent, on the power of collaboration. So we have a course. It's a virtual one coming up, 3 sessions. They're in the evenings in partnership with our local Metro Regional Service Agency. And I put the links in the chat for with Dr. Houston. She can put those in there for you. And also the grant writing starter guide that I shared earlier, that is also helpful for those educators who's ever written a lesson plan and you're an author now and you want to get your books into school. This is how you do it. This is how you can do it simply. Turn your lesson plans into a winning grant application. And then I'll also drop my socials in the chat, just in case you all want to get social and connect with us and stay connected. So, and I definitely want to stay connected with you, Dr. Felton, and the magnificent work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And the success that you're able to provide strategies and supports to, like you said, see positive outcomes for children.
Yes.
And we are excited that you are a part of our newsletter program that we email out to schools each week. And after each of our broadcasts, we put that portion of our website in the comments for all of the educators that connect with us to be able to access those resources. So I have found your book on Amazon, and I've placed the link in the comments for anyone who would like to purchase Dr. Felton's book, The Learning Journal. This would be helpful for students, upper elementary through adult learners, actually helping them to become self-aware of how they learn and processing and being able to connect to their learning so that they're able to retain the information a lot better.
We appreciate your time tonight, Dr. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And thank you for continuing to pour into people, even by way through your books, because we know your books live on and can reach many.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us, everyone. I saw a few people in the comments, Dr. Roz and Principal Tovar out of Texas. And I saw one of our parents on as well, one of our parent listeners. So thank you all for joining us. If you want to let us know that you're in the comments, just make a comment, say hi, tell us where you're from. But we appreciate you joining us and help us spread the word about these great resources. We definitely want students and parents to be less frustrated during these times and to, like Dr. Felton said, experience some success because that helps build their confidence. And when children feel like they're good at something, then they can better engage in learning in school, and they actually want to be there and want to do well every day. And we see a lot of those non-desirable behaviors start to diminish because they're engaged in the positive parts of school. So thank you for being on and sharing with us. Thank you for all your resources, Bejanae. And if you would like to connect with us, all of the information is in the comments. So we look forward to seeing you the next time on the Power of Collaboration. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.